Welcome to the Social for Brokers podcast. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is something a bit different at the beginning of this podcast. Before I introduce my next guest, if you're able to, and you're not driving, get onto TikTok and follow him before we speak. It's Anish Patel Mortgages. The guy's got over 18,000 likes and he knows what he's doing with social media content. So Anish took to TikTok to educate, and he does that with every single video. So TikTok doesn't just have to be dancing. You can use it for an informative platform. And what he does is then uses those on the likes of Facebook and Instagram, and that's where he gets the majority of his leads. So when everyone thought TikTok was all about dancing, he went the other way and made TikTok content useful to people, and he's winning with it now. He does get leads through social media, and TikTok is more of its informative content rather than a lead generation tool, but it's a great way for him to be seen. And to be honest, I took inspiration from his videos and I went down that informative content route rather than the dancing and the viral content. He's an incredible broker, as well as being on TikTok. We were just speaking before the podcast about Santander pulling some of the weight. So he's going to have a busy night tonight, but for him, it's all about helping the clients, and he's always talking about how he can move on to the next appointment and help the next person. So Anish, thank you very much for coming onto the podcast, mate. Welcome.
Thank you very much, mate. Thank you for the invitation. Glad to be here.
I can see in his face, he's like, I need to go and submit these Santander. But he's been good enough to stick to his word and say, right, I'm coming on at 1 o'clock and we're chatting about through social media and how you run your business. So I really appreciate your time. Thank you, mate.
No problem, mate. Thank you.
So I thought we'd first start off, you giving us a bit of a background of who you are, who you work for, and how you got to the point where you are now.
So obviously, Anish Patel, mortgage broker, company called Anish Mortgages. My wife actually created that name, so all credit goes to her. But literally, I'm just your normal everyday guy, basically, you know, family man, mortgage broker, play football once a week, go gym 4 times a week, sit here in my tracksuit, nicely comfortable at work. Just like you, mate. I'm assuming you've got your shoes off right now, like myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I just like to be like that approachable mortgage broker, right? Like in terms of, I like to be seen as what I would like to, like who I would sort of like take a service from or deal with, if that makes sense. And for me personally, mate, I would go with someone who wears like a tracksuit or a hoodie over a person that wears a suit. But that's just me, right? Not everyone is there, but yeah, that's mainly me, mate, in a nutshell.
Awesome. And if you've ever watched any of Nish's content, you'll see that the way he is now is exactly the same as that, and you'll be exactly the same in your appointments as well. There's no falseness, there's no seam in between what you do and how you give these appointments. It seems like you're very genuine throughout, and I assume that's helped you throughout the business, hasn't it?
Yeah, mate. Like the truth is, the way, as you're 100% right. Well, the way I'm on video is the way I speak now.
Yeah.
It's the way I speak to my clients in the meetings. Like it's never like Mr. It's like, oh, mate, and all this. You know, like everything's just very chilled. And I get so many people like who book in meetings like via Instagram, Facebook, or wherever they come from. They're like, you sound exactly like the guy who I'm following on Insta or on TikTok. You know, it's not like I've done a fancy video where I've edited it and, you know, made myself look cool or anything. I'm literally like that guy that you've been following for ages, and it's working. Like literally, I'm getting meetings and people have been following me for like a year and a half. And they're like, you're as funny. And I don't even think I'm funny. That's the funny thing. Like my wife, if you ask my wife, mate, she thinks I'm the most boring guy in the world, because every time she comes in the living room, she's like, oh my God, not football again, you know? But these people love it. And they're just like, they just love the transparency where everything is just the same. No matter what channel you watch me on, I wear the same clothes, I talk the same, I'm just the same.
Yeah, you're consistent with yourself, with your brand, and it's easy to be consistent when you're genuine. It's like, what do they say? I know this is extreme, but if you make a lie, you almost have to create 10 lies to cover up the one lie. And that's the same if you're fake on a video. You've got to be even more fake in your appointment to cover the fakeness that you've portrayed on social media.
Yeah.
But before we get into social media, I just wanted to get an insight. Have you been a broker through a corporate company before, a bigger company, or have you always been self-employed?
When I became a broker, I was always self-employed. So like in a nutshell, in a quick background, I was working at an IFA firm before, and they were like doing full advice, pensions, investments and things like that. I went there. I was literally like the new business manager. So I had no idea what was going on. I didn't even know what a pension was at that point. You know, I left university, got a job there. And one of the advisors who was leaving just saw potential in me. Because obviously I was really dedicated, like helping all the advisors earn money. And then he basically says to me, look, I want you to be my paraplanner. So I went with him when he moved companies, but I saw he was really good at mortgages and protection. And I was getting a good grasp of it because I was chasing all these cases. And then I was like, you know what? Like the truth is, I was like, I can see the money he's earning. I was like, this guy's taking a chance on me. I'm going to give it everything with him. But I went on a self-employed basis with him. So this was outside the IR35 days, basically, where I was basically contracting for him for like, I was probably like with him for 3 years, right? But what happened is I was 5 days a week, and then eventually I was growing my business on the side. And when I was getting too many leads, not too many, but I could justify taking a day off to concentrate on my own business, I went down 4 days a week, and then I went down 3 days a week. And then it got to a point where I was working 3 days a week for him, and I was literally working every hour and day for my own clients as well, because they expect the service, right? Like the truth is, my clients didn't know that I was 3 days a week for him and 2 days a week. In their eyes, I'm just a full-time broker. You know what I mean? So I had to make sure I gave that perception. So I was emailing God knows hours, what time of the night. And then it just got to a point like, I've said this before, like on my other podcast, I was like, I asked my wife, I was like, look, I don't think I can do this anymore. I'm just getting like really tired. She was like, just go self-employed. And we just got a mortgage, like just got our first home 6 months before that. And she goes to me, look, if you're good enough, it'll work out. Simple as. And I was like,
that's a lot of belief in you, isn't it?
Yeah, I was scared, but I did it. And now I've just never looked back, mate. So then they were a DA firm. Then I moved in. When I decided to go full-time self-employed, I thought I needed a break from that firm, because the truth is all the advisors were established and they weren't really that hungry in that firm. You weren't getting much like leads and things like that. Then I went to another firm, and it was like a two-man firm. It was actually one of my best mates' firm. They're DA as well. And then my business was at a sort of steady pace growing, but not at the level I like it to grow, right? And then in 2000, I think it was in 2000, can't remember, like a year and a half ago in July, I saw the social media stuff. So Gary Dass's stuff started popping up, listened to the podcast, and I was like, you know what, this is obviously it's worked for him. Then I started spotting out other brokers, because obviously in that DA world with no one there, I had no idea what was going on. Like, I didn't even know there was Facebook community groups.
Yeah.
I mean, about helping each other. And then what I did was I just thought, you know what, I'm going to go all in on this social media. So I signed up to Gary's Pro Academy for a bit.
Yep.
And then I decided myself to take my business in another direction where I needed more focus one-on-one on content. And that's where me and Ash got together. We've been together about a year and a bit now, maybe longer than a year. Yeah, and then without him, mate, just would be impossible. So me and him.
I mean, he's great. I speak to loads of people that I remember him doing the video, like the coaching, and gave him the confidence to get in front of the camera. And because I think a lot of people think, when I'm going on video, what do I talk about? How do I present myself? And he gives you the confidence and tells you exactly how it should be done.
Yeah.
But then what's great is people like yourself then put your own personal spin on it. So it's not Ash Ballin speaking, it's Ash Blueprint, but with your personality on it. And did you see a shift in, maybe not business straight away, but the way that you were perceived as a mortgage broker when you started doing videos?
Yeah, so like when I started doing videos, right, the truth is I was doing them like everybody else because I didn't know any different, right? So I was doing like, I had a nice thumbnail, I had a nice music, and, you know, I was sitting there and I had someone like putting it all together for me. And then I was just like, Ash, this is just getting tiring, right? And this was like just when I joined Ash. It wasn't like before we created the plan. And then he was just like, bin this all off, forget it. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, what? And he was like, listen, and we actually joke about this to this day, is like, just create shit content, right? And what I mean by shit content is, like, for me personally, he was like, what type of content do you like? I was like, I like quick, snappy content, right? Because if I see a video, for example, on YouTube, which is like 4 minutes long, I won't even watch it. I start scrolling at the bottom, right? And I just don't have the time to create like these edited videos with the business is growing at such a fast pace. He was like, upload them raw, unedited, and just release them, and you'll be surprised at the reaction you're going to get. And to miss at that point as well, it fit within my brand ethos, because my brand now is like online based. I always wanted to take my brand online, right? But also I wanted to have the content come out the way I like it, the way I would buy into someone else's services. And I feel like my brand now is more of that, your chilled, no nonsense broker who you can just relax in front of and just chat with regarding what you want for a mortgage. And that's like, a lot of my clients aren't nervous in my meetings, because the truth is it's taken like over a year, right, for people to actually really engage. Because at the start I did get leads, but now it's gone to another level where it's just like I can't pick up my landline phone ever anymore, because if I get caught, then it's just like that's it, you know, like they want to speak to me, so I have to actually not saying like I'm too big for my boots, it's just like I can't pick it up, because if I get caught, then I'm screwed, and then I'm basically denying someone else.
Yeah, in that hour, say if you had an hour on a phone call, you could either help one person on a phone call, or being at the computer, you could help 10 people.
Yeah.
Rather use your time more wisely.
100%.
Go back to the raw videos, because that's big of Ash. You're coming to a video coach and saying how he's telling you how to do it, polish and everything like that. For him to say, it takes bravery, but it also takes a lot of knowledge in that area to say it's not working for you. And I think he maybe saw you didn't want to go down that disingenuine route, did you? You wanted to be genuine.
Yeah, so mate.
The raw videos, it's a great way to do it, because you're attracting the kind of people that you want to deal with. That's the benefit of it. So when you're shooting videos, when you're saying raw, you're just literally picking up your phone, selfieing it, and doing a video there and then, aren't you?
Wherever I am, mate. Even when I was in Tenerife, I'd do a quick video, poolside, doesn't matter where I am, I'll just do a video. Like this morning, did it in my living room. Right.
How do you get over the fear if you're out and about? Because what I love about your videos is you're not sat at a desk. Do you know what I mean? I've got a sign behind me. I'll try and do a video with with this behind me for the branding. You'll be walking down the street and you'll whack out your phone. Do you ever get over that fear of people watching you? Because I know a lot of people listening to this, that will be a big stumbling block for people.
I did at first, but mate, I just do so much now. I just don't care.
Don't you know?
The truth is, I just don't care. Like, I know why I'm doing it, right? The truth is, you're doing it to grow the business, to get your name out there, to get more organic leads.
Mm-hmm.
And it's working. So if someone doesn't like my video, that's fine. But that also means that they're not my ideal client, most likely as well. Like the truth is right now, mate, like I am actually attracting my ideal client. And what I mean by that is like someone like myself, similar age. Like I don't really have anyone older than, so I'm 30. I think I'm 35. I'm pretty sure I'm 35. I don't really get clients, mate, older than myself.
Right. Okay. So you're getting that ideal client.
Yeah. Just like I'm growing with my clients. It's not like I'm like, I do get older clients, but the main bulk of them, mate, like all young social medias, like Instagram, Facebook people. Obviously, I post in local groups as well on a regular basis, which helps. But I don't like, the truth is, like I was saying this to my dad, right? There's other brokers. Like my dad would never choose me as a broker because of my content, because I don't wear a suit, because I don't wear a tie. But that's fine. He's not my ideal client, you know. But someone who's like similar like myself, maybe a self-employed young entrepreneur, or someone who's just a standard, you know, employed, most likely if they're like 30, 35, will probably relate to me, because when they come to me, I'll be like, look, follow me on Insta, check out this on Facebook, blah, blah, blah. And then once I get them in on my Insta, it's just like, because I'm so consistent in posting, can't really get away. Do you know what I mean? They're probably like, oh my God, there's this guy again, the mortgage broker. Do you know what I mean?
So before we get into the type of content that you create, and I want to also talk to you about how you drive people to your social channels, what percentage of leads come through social media for you, so the listeners can get an idea?
God knows. I just know a lot.
Would you say more than 50%?
Oh yeah, mate, more than 50%. So I'm fortunate enough. So I've been doing it since 2013, right? And I only started social media in like July 2020. I'm pretty sure that's when I set up my own AR. I've been always just built on referrals since then. So fortunately, I've got the client back there. So what's happening is I'm generating new leads from social media, which is working, but also in a nutshell as well, all my existing clients are following me on Insta. So they're not forgetting I'm their broker. Even like, for example, it's a 5-year fix. I do try to contact my clients on a yearly basis, but they just can't get away from me. So if anyone says, do you want a broker? They're like, oh yeah, look at my guy. He's on Insta. And then you scroll through my page and I've just got every question basically answered. Or like, if you have a meeting with me, I'll be like, have you checked out this video? Check out this video. So indirectly, I'm sending them links to my Insta. Then they start following me, and then once they start following me, they're sort of funneled in, if that makes sense. And then they start trusting me and things like that.
Can we get a grasp of that kind of process then? Because a lot of people listening to this will want to know this. So I get in touch with you and I might find you on Google or something. And I phone you and I say, look, I'm maybe interested in a mortgage. What happens at that? How do you introduce me to your socials?
So like at the meeting, it will be like, in terms, it won't be at the initial meeting. So when you've booked in, basically there's always a question that someone asks, right? Even if they're like a first time buyer or whatever it is, I'll be like, look, everything we've discussed today is fine, but have a look at this 7 steps to get mortgage ready with, in less than 10 minutes, or have a look at these contractor videos that I've done, or have a look at, this series of videos that I've done. Because I basically, all the videos that I do, I don't find it hard to create content because these are just questions I'm getting asked on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So I'm just telling people what I speak about. So like on my stories, like today was, typically you need to be 20% shareholder and above to be, and you'll be classed as self-employed. Because a lot of people go, oh, I'm a director of a limited company, but I'm employed, right? Someone just asked me that question yesterday. It's not like I've had to sit down and think about it. All I do is they ask me that question. I'm like, write it down on my phone, bang, story done tomorrow, on Insta.
You create that. And what you do cleverly is if somebody came to you and said, right, I've recorded a video and I'm going to upload it to my Facebook and they've only used it once, what would you say?
I'll say you're doing yourself a disjustice because you should be getting it out on all platforms. So example, mate, today is, the truth is LinkedIn is not a good platform for me, right? In terms of lead generation, I get very limited leads on there. I know loads of brokers that are great on it. It just doesn't work for me. But what I'm noticing is my content is actually being seen by people, maybe in my industry as professional peers, but also certain people, clients. Because what happens is, because of my social media links are everywhere, right? People see me on LinkedIn, but then they may click on my Insta and I get them through there. So sometimes people are like, I saw your video on LinkedIn, but then I went to look at your Insta and I followed you from Insta. Or like, for example, there was a podcast I listened to before this with Dave Corbett, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, like we've never crossed paths. I've never heard of him.
But he knows who you are.
Yeah, and I was like overwhelmed. I was like I was telling my cousin, I was like, you know what? It's so nice when someone just says that they've seen your video when you've never even met. It's a nice feeling to get. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's good.
The good thing is, what people have got to realize is these videos, people might not like them. Dave Corbett might never have liked or commented on one of your videos.
Yeah.
But yet he knows who you are. And that just proves people don't have to interact with your post to know who you are or take that information in. Because for so many years, we've been hung up on likes and comments and how many followers we've got and all that kind of thing. But actually, it's how many people are seeing that post and who is seeing that post. Because you could have 100 of your dad seeing that post, load of rubbish. You could have 2 people that are your ideal clients that see that post, and that's 2 right away.
Yeah, 100%, mate. It's all about the ideal client. That's the truth. Like, as I said, the engagement, I think I do get likes, right? But I'm not going to say I get thousands of likes, right? Because I don't. Yeah. But I get engagement in my DMs a lot. So like I would say, honestly, right now in the Instagram, every day I'm getting a new lead, one a day at least off Instagram. Facebook, probably in the last week, I've probably had 1 a day on there as well. But I would say Facebook maybe like 1 or 2. 1 every other day. But that's still a lot of leads if you look at it.
Massive,
like 5 new leads a day, about a week, right? Or just on Insta, and then you've got your Facebook as well, and it's the groups as well. So like what I do is when I comment, put posts up in groups, right? Because some groups like longer form content. Yeah. So I don't know if you've seen like keep on reading what made me react like this. So I do like different type of posts from
talk us through those, because I've seen them, but a lot of the listeners might not have come across them.
So it's a bit different from my usual videos, right? But I was like, what can grab attention and what's funny and what would people read? Like, what would I read if I saw something, right? Because the truth is, if I saw a long post and someone writes, like, especially on LinkedIn, mate, I don't read it all the time. But I was like, what could make me want to read the post, right? I was like, all right, let me just do like things about keep on reading what made me react like this. Because at first I was seeing loads of like informative content, but then you got to make it a bit more fun as well at the same time. Because like, a lot of these groups, what I realize is a lot of the group people, the Facebook groups, they love longer form content, right? If you've just got a video, a lot of them may just scroll through it because Insta is different to the Facebook groups. But then what I do at the end of them is I'll go follow for more daily mortgage tips, and I bang out my Insta link and my YouTube link. And what happens is once I post it into that Facebook group, I funnel them to my Insta, and like in a day I might get like 5, 6, depending, but you get more followers, and then it's like you've got them in again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, what you do is you're always thinking of how to funnel people back to another channel. So if you get them on Facebook, funnel them to Instagram. If you get them on LinkedIn, funnel them to Facebook or Instagram. You never go back to LinkedIn because that's not your platform, you win it. But what I found interesting with that content, you hit the nail on the head. You're giving informative content in the actual body of the post, but the photos are a bit of a joke. It's kind of like there might be a photo of Anish with his hands in his head, kind of what made me react like this, or your arms up in the air. And it's something that you might think, why is a mortgage broker doing that? And it's all about interrupting people's feeds. That's what you're trying to do all the time.
Just capture attention, basically.
So when you've created a video on TikTok, explain to people where you then go and post it, because you can turn it into reels. You could do it elsewhere.
So my process, I sort of stumbled across it, if that makes sense, right? So I thought, let me just post everywhere. Like, I don't do one different video. So literally my process is TikTok, because then my blue caption you've probably seen on a lot of my videos comes from there. That saves on my phone. Then I share that to Insta. And to Insta, I don't actually do anything different for the reels. I just upload it again to the reels. And then my Insta's linked to my Facebook. So then that goes on my business page. And then from my business page, I share it to my personal page. And then from the personal page, I share it to the group. So like that, like to me, that is gold dust. And if any mortgage brokers listen to that, they should listen to like the way I've come up with that, because that took me ages to basically figure out having the process. But now, like honestly, I post. So if I go TikTok to Instagram Reels, to Facebook, to personal page to Facebook, to Facebook groups, then there's like another community group called Next Door. Don't know if anyone's ever heard of that. I've got like 600 members in there. And then I've got my YouTube channel, which is growing at a good rate as well. I can literally post on all 5 platforms within, I would say, 12 minutes.
Wow. This is the kind of thing, if you really want to win on social, you see Anish then has talked about 12 minutes. You've timed that process. You've worked out the best way to do it. After seeing your videos on TikTok, I do that now. TikTok to Instagram Reels, post it onto Facebook as a video. Do you do an Instagram Reel and an Instagram video?
No, it's just one video, mate. That's it.
Okay, and then you post it through to your Facebook page and then into Facebook groups. So all you've done is taken 30 seconds to record one video, but you've got 5 different pieces of content there to be pushed out.
Yep.
That's the key. That's saving your time, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%, mate. And also you can use like the written things, like, because I always basically, my videos in the text is what I'm actually saying.
Yeah.
But a lot of people probably may not even know that. But then what I do is sometimes, like, if you need content, you can just repurpose the written content on your Instagram stories, for example, So the other day I asked a question like, can your mortgage get declined once it's been offered? And then I put a poll out, and then I just said the answer after. So like, I do always, because in the weekends, the truth is I can't be bothered to make a video. The reason being is my daughter's with me. I need to relax with her instead of just be on work mode. But I can create quick content like that, of repurposing content and create engagement, which works as well at the same time. Because don't forget, people in the weekends are actually more active on Instagram, and Facebook, because I've got more time. So I need to do something
different. No, mate, I think that's key. If you take away anything from this podcast, is if you make one piece of content, don't just waste it on one platform. And yes, there are gurus out there that say you need to optimize different bits of content for social media, different for Instagram, different for Facebook, different for TikTok. Yes, you can do that, but how long is it going to take you? Get that content out there, get people to see your face. Then when you get that busy, okay, hire somebody to tweak every bit of content. But until you get to that point, what a lot of people try and do is master every platform, I think.
Yeah.
Just do one video and get it out there. That would be my strategy behind it. And that's exactly, you've got it down to 12 minutes, which is awesome.
Yeah, mate.
You post every day?
Monday to Friday. And if my daughter's like not with me on the Saturday, for example, like if my missus takes her to like a class or something like that, then potentially I would maybe do one on Saturday. But I would say 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. And then the weekends is all about just repurposing content and just, it's more the Instagram stories because that's where my main following is.
Right.
So just making sure that even though I might not post a video, they can still see my stories. And
Yes.
then I get DMs or like, and the weekend's nice as well, mate. Like when I was watching the Khan Brook fight this weekend, I mean, I just took a picture of it, and the amount of people who were like DMing me, come on Khan, come on Brook, you know, like it just random. It doesn't have to be mortgage related, but it's engagement.
And that's the thing. You get the engagement now on a Saturday, and what Instagram will do is when you next put your business post out on Monday, it's much more likely to appear in those people's feeds because you have interaction with them. So I think you're just smashing it on social, mate. And that takes us perfectly into the strategy question, because I'm probably going to know the answers to this one. But if you were to, we'll pretend that you're going to the north of Scotland, you've got a laptop, a mobile phone, and an internet connection. I think I know what you're going to do, but what would be the first thing that you did as soon as you landed?
Take a video, mate. I'll take it on the plane.
Before you get there?
Mate, I've taken videos everywhere. I've taken videos when I've gone to the Spurs game. I've taken videos everywhere, mate. Like, I just doesn't. I've been Peppa Pig Land and I've taken a video there, mate. You know what I mean? It's not. I do it everywhere. And the reason is sometimes I do it at Peppa Pig Land is because then people know, like, he's just a dad. You know, like gone to Peppa Pig World with his daughter. Like, it's just people look into things like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I don't want to be like, I can't take it there. I just do it because I'm there. Like, it's just relatable, right? Like in terms of like, if anyone's got kids, like, oh yeah, I went there. He must have like had a nightmare there. Do you know what I mean?
And I suppose that could spark a conversation, couldn't it? And when they're sat in front of you on the phone, how do you enjoy Peppa Pig World? It's a way in, isn't it? It's a way to be personal.
Mate, the amount of people that say to me that know I'm a Spurs fan who book in a call with me is just like mind-boggling, because I give them bits of my life, but mainly like mortgage stuff as well at the same time. But they all know I'm a Spurs fan. So the first thing is they slate me straight away. Do you know what I mean?
Not last week, mate. Not last week.
Yeah, I know, not last week, but still, the majority of the time.
It's funny because I always talk about tea. I'm always putting Yorkshire tea on my stories. I went to an awards night the other night, and one of the blokes was like, "Love what you do with the tea." I'm like, I talk about social media loads, but the one thing they remember is the tea. Why they're never going to come to me and talk about social media straight off. They're similar to you. They're not going to come to you straight away and talk mortgages. They'll soften it with a bit of personal stuff.
Yeah. They need to find that common ground before it's about sell. You know, like end of the day, it is all about the service and what you're providing, right? But no one's ever going to buy your service overnight. Like, think about it, like when I basically joined my PT, who's an online coach, I followed him for ages. Or even like Ash, to be honest. You know, Ash is a perfect example. I followed him for ages, and I was like, this guy kept popping up on my feed. And I was like, I like his content. I like the way he acts. He used to be an ex-mortgage broker, so he potentially will understand how to push content out there. And the thing is, he wasn't like, trust me, Ash is not a posh guy, right? Even though I think he's from Cambridge, he's not a posh guy. And that was the main thing. I was like, this guy is just like, speaks the way I speak. And I liked it, like, tattoos, whatever it is. I was like, this is the guy that's going to help me take my business to the next level, because he speaks like me, and then like he's as mad as me. Well, I'm as mad as him, to be honest, because you ask Ash, like I get all my like creative ideas when I'm in the shower, mate, which is like quite strange.
It's normal, and you can get whiteboards now. I've seen them.
I might need something, mate, because I'm in the shower, either I'm singing or I'm like, 1 minute, I can do this, or 1 minute I could do this, and then I'm like, I need to get my phone. So I get my phone. I'm like, Ash, blah, 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 like this. Like, I send him a voice note, and just so I don't forget as well. And then he's like, messaging me back. And then, but it's nice because the energy that he gives me is great. But like, the main thing what I say to people is like, Ash has helped me massively. And I'm not saying he hasn't, but you still have to put the work in yourself. Like, you just can guide you. Like, you are the guy that is meant to do the work at the same time. But
I've spoken to a few people about this. It's similar to what we do. We create social media content for people, but we can't sit there and respond to your clients. We can't message because yes, we can do the physical motion of it, but we can't respond in a way that you would, the way that you would speak. And that's why I see a lot of footballers do it where they have people manage their accounts.
Yeah, and it's managed as
Yeah,
well.
you know, I think there was something about Bruno Fernandes had a photo uploaded on one of Chelsea's players.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you need to have you need to have the majority of the control over your social accounts because you need to sell you, don't you?
Yeah, 100%. Like if you like, for example, like social brokers, yeah, it's your face in reality that
Yeah.
everyone's buying into, and it's just like Anish Mortgage is like it's my face, right?
I didn't realize you had Anish mortgages. I just knew it was Anish Patel. That was it.
Yeah.
That's how strong your personal brand is.
Well, mate, that's really nice of me to say. I've never even thought about it that way. To me, it's like I honestly think I'm still at the starting like of where I want to take
So
it
exciting.
to. Yeah, mate, I'm excited now because the thing is, it's like I say to Ash all the time. Like at first, the truth is, just wanted to earn a shitload of money, right? And
Yeah,
that's the
that
truth.
was your
Right?
aim.
Yeah, and the thing is, like now, it's not even about income. Now I've got visions of my brand, how I want it to sit in the mortgage industry, and the truth is, like how I want it to be like one of the best mortgage brokerages in the like mortgage industry, right? And be an online brand. And I'm just trying to get there. Like we've got loads of things that I do, and I'm always planning the next step ahead. Because the truth is, like what I'm doing now, there's other people doing it now, like the raw edited videos. Not saying they're copying me, but there's other people doing it. But I was the first in that space to do it. That means I need to evolve and think about something new Because what's going to happen is people will see it and then they'll just do it because they think it's working. But what people don't understand is, mate, it's brutal, right? It's like another job, social media.
It is, isn't it? You've got a lot of people think you can just put a post out there,
Yeah,
drop the post and get loads of leads. You might have been able to do that kind of 5-10 years ago, but now it's all about, you need to be consistent. You need to be engaging with people. You need to be answering people's questions exactly as you are, mate.
100%, mate. 100%.
Smashing it, and I'm sure it'll be interesting to see what you do next, but also how you position it. Because if you want it to be this huge brokerage, does it need to move from your face? Do you need to sell the brand rather than your face?
Yeah, do you know what? I was watching something. We're not watching. I think it was Neil Patel.
Yeah, SEO.
So I was listening to his podcast a while ago, and he was like, the one mistake he made was calling the business like Neil Patel, agency. Yeah, because everyone wants him. So I don't know. Like the truth is, I want it to be a big brokerage, and that's more the fact of like, I want an exit strategy as well.
Yep, fair
personally,
enough.
right? Like in terms of like, I don't want to be, ideally, man, I don't want to be in the business working as a broker for the rest of my life. I'd rather have like brokers there. Then when I go on holiday, the leads will come and you give it to them. And then I don't have to stress about doing a call and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
That's the exit strategy. But you've got to have the right personnel. So right now, I know like my cousin, who is like my business manager, right? He's got his CMAP 1, he's booking it and he's revising for it. The thing is, he reminded me of myself, right? Like I went to university, yes, I got a degree, yes. The truth is, it means nothing in this industry. You just need to be good at your job. You can be crap at everything else, but as long as you're good as a mortgage broker, that's what matters. So look, when I was fortunate enough, I didn't have to go through like a recruitment drive, right? I just called him. I said, look, I've got this opportunity for you. Do you want to come work with me? And I can help you become a mortgage broker, right? I was like, yeah, why not? And the truth is, he's the best thing that has ever happened to my business and my life, like in terms of, and he's got all his GCSEs, no university degree, nothing. But I tell you now, the job that he's doing, I can guarantee you there's people with university degrees wouldn't be able to do it to the level that he's doing it on.
The pace, isn't it?
Mate, it's so fast paced because he knows what I'm like. I need stuff done, yeah, and he's just on it, you know. And I know people, like maybe people with university degrees might have a bit more of an ego, if that makes sense. You know, I'm not saying they would, but it's like, it's not, you have to start at the bottom. What I find is the best brokers, like I started at the bottom, right? And a lot of these brokers, like I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but like Knowledge Bank, mortgage broker tools, and all that. The truth is, mate, I have got nothing like that.
Yeah.
I don't use anything. I just use my brain and I just know the criteria because that's all I've had all my life. And this is the way I'm training him up. And I think he'll be a better broker than what I am.
That's what you want, isn't it? You want your team around you to be better than you.
100%.
Perfect way to sign it off, mate. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm sure people have got loads of stuff from there. And rewind this, go and listen to it about it again. Listen to that content approach for 12 minutes, do one video and repost it everywhere. Don't waste one video on one platform. But Anish, thank you so much for coming on. As a thank you, I'd like to donate £10 to a charity of your choice. Which charity would you like to make it to?
So this is to be honest, I don't know. This is going to sound really bad, right? I don't really know too much about charities, but something that really hit home recently was there was a post on Instagram regarding a dad whose kid was bullied and he committed suicide. And it sounds really like bad, but his daughter saw it, the son saw it. No, not son. The son actually died, right?
Yeah.
And it just hit me home. Like, to me, I shed a few tears on it as well. It hit home because I was like, I've got a daughter. The last thing I want is like anyone to be bullied at school and stuff like that. So it's called a Suicide Prevention Lifeline charity. It's a US charity, right? In all honesty, but the work that the dad is doing is just remarkable. Like, I can't remember his name, but he's on Instagram, mate. And if you just look at the stuff that they're doing, mate, it's just like, it's just all for his son Drake, you know. So it's mad. So it's good.
Yeah, we'll make the donation to that. Very good call. Thank you very much for coming on, mate, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you very much for having me on, mate. Cheers.
Cheers, pal. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.